Welcome to Fan TV and Chill season review. Just going to go through how we think our season's going so far. As we haven't, all three of us haven't got games this week with a new Premier League structure. So we're going to just talk about our teams, talk about transfers, and yeah, just see how the seasons go through the season and how we think it's been going so far. So obviously we'll start off with Liverpool, top of the league.
Yeah, man. Anyway, okay, cool. It feels a bit weird, doesn't it? Like we kind of crying about. Well, I was a fan of like winter break, but at the same time, without football, we feel a little bit lost. But anyway, these things happen. But yeah, we're not here to talk about that. But in terms of Liverpool season, come on, man, it's obvious enough. Like I shouldn't really have a lot to say because what the lads are doing it's just phenomenal. I mean, like so far to go unbeaten, and it's not even that. It's the amount of victories that they've collected as well. Like that's kind of, it's obviously unheard of because they're kind of breaking all the records, and it's something that I didn't expect. I was hoping like Liverpool can win the league, but I didn't think if they're gonna win the league, it's gonna be, the way they've got it, the way they're going on about it, and yeah, just an incredible season so far, and credit just goes to the whole team, goes to the manager. Even started the season, I was happy. At the same time, I understood why Klopp never made signings, but at the same time, it was one of those that you always feel as a fan, I guess. Anyway, you always feel to go the next level, especially considering we came so close to City. It only made sense to think we definitely need to get someone. Obviously, the starting 11 is difficult to improve, but we had a lot of outgoings. From a striker point of view, even defensively, we didn't lose, but I say in terms of numbers, people like Moreno left, so we didn't lose them, but they're just not there. There's a vacated space there, so yeah, and but at the same time, I could see why, like, because he's got that much trust and belief in his team, and I think it was one of those. Again, he's a son of a man with a plan and a man who, like I said about the trust thing, and you can see that the reasons, i.e., on one end he's trying to balance. I don't want to stunt other young players' growth, let's say like the likes of Brewster, who I haven't obviously didn't get as much opportunity, to be fair. But as a review, yeah, I'm kind of drifting because there's not many words to say really. What they're achieving, I think if you watch football, you just know. Like, obviously, certain pagans will want to bring comparison and trying to be like, oh, if there's invincible, we're here, which is just trash talk, and it's not even the kind of talk that I don't think is worth having, because it's just give credit where it's due. The invisible done their thing, of course. Hats up to them. It's something that was done, and you just gotta respect it. I think not every, what I mean, like it's like Usain Bolt is Usain Bolt. I'm sure back in the days, I can't remember, Malcolm X said, Malcolm X, who the fuck?
What was green?
Nah? No, like what's these American sprinters? Michael Johnson. I say Malcolm X. What am I talking about? We're not talking about racism, but yeah. I mean that was actually a joke. Anyway, you know what I mean? Like you just gotta rate. You rate what you rate without. I think that's just a true like sportsman, and like when there's an incredible achievement, you give it the respect and the credit that it deserves, and nothing more. Comparison can be made, but it's one of them, like, if you're gonna make it, yeah, you put it in a context with respect of all. You can't be, they're gonna trust you. Like, I think, and again, it's like I said, I couldn't, regardless of put it this way, even if Liverpool went the rest of the season now just drawing one game and still beating all the other teams, I still couldn't say like if they play, the invincible Arsenal, because we're comparing players that not just that they managed to win the league then, but we're already looking at their history. These are individuals that have left legacy, so it's already that itself just makes you biased to go one way. It's not really a worth conversation. So yeah, man, just put some respect on my team's name in it. Like it's just I've enjoyed every bit of it, and a lot of outstanding performances. Like obviously Mane, world class player. Like I know it's a bit controversial, but I love him. Like Van Dijk, world class as always. Alisson, world class as always. And yeah, obviously very good fullbacks. In midfield again, like people that just gets on with their job. And Firmino doing his thing. I think throughout, and credit goes to Klopp again. I think you know how we say about managing the squad, and he's got his man management is so slick, is unreal. Like and I think the belief that he's putting these players alone is the main reason that's kind of making them perform the way they are. Because you watch games where he's rotated players and big like a massive derby against Everton. Obviously they're a small club, but you still give them like that little bit of respect because it is a derby. And mixed changes, we come in, the performance is like just world class. And you can see that everyone is being treated with the same respect, and as a result of that, every time they have to step on the pitch, they respond. And obviously, yeah, man, like there's that consistency. They've been together for a long time, and it's not. It is surprising what they're achieving. Not gonna lie, because no one really expects the Premier League, man. Like no one wins this many games, regardless of what you say. But still, am I shocked at the top of the league? Not really, because they showed it last season that, and they've been winning things. So on the back of winning something, it always gives you a lot more belief. Yeah, I think I've kind of used most of my time. I don't even know how long I was meant to talk for. So I'll use most of my time to kind of discuss more the season, because in terms of like the second part, which we're gonna say about the transfer side of things, well, we've not really been that active, and not that we needed to anyway. Like because we've got good cover, we've got players that can rotate into different roles, and but the business was still very clever, because obviously I don't know how much many people know about Minamino. I've not seen that much of him either, but the few games that I've seen, it looks like, and the price tag as well, it's just like it's a no-brainer, and I think very smart business again by the club, and he's definitely gonna go on and have a successful career at Liverpool. And yeah, it's one of them, like, not to say it's gonna be like Firmino like, because different players, but he's got traits.
What is his position?
I'd say is again, it's not your typical full like striker. Like for me, when I seen him play for what's the team again? Salzburg. Yeah, I thought it was almost like attacking midfielder type in the hole. But obviously, anyone who plays offensively can play out wide and stuff like that. He's got the ability to do that. But I didn't realize Klopp was signing him with the intention of making him almost like a Firmino type of player. But he's got
That's intention, yeah.
Yeah, you can see that from the get go, because he's played him as the top guy. We even shift Origi out wide. So, and but you can see why, because he's got the brain to do it. He's got the techniques to do it, and I think he's a very, not to stereotype, but he's a South Korean player. Like you are expecting to be like hard working and have the energy, and you know what I mean. But anyway, but I've kind of talked too much about, because transfer wise we didn't really need to do much, but we acted quite clever, and yeah, and I hope he's gonna pay off, and I have faith in that anyway. But yeah, man, I'll let obviously jump down. We're gonna win the league. We keep it moving, innit? And let the pagan drown to their sorrow. Amen.
Anyway, moving on. Man United season, been a difficult season with not a lot of good performances, but had games where we've played all right. Depressing season really, but it's Ollie's first season. I felt like this is the first season in a long time where the club have just gone back to trying to do the basics right, of trying to sign the right players and not rushing and signing the wrong players. So, I mean, in January, I thought we, instead of jumping and signing the wrong players, I thought we did all right. With signing Bruno, thought we did all right with that. Good signing. And obviously we still do need to sign more players in September, but that would take time. But the most important thing going forward is just signing the right players at the right time. But obviously that would take time. That would take time. But anyway, in other aspects of it, we've got to try and keep Pogba as well to build the team around him. Hopefully, he's not going to leave. There's no point trying to lose a player. There's no point in letting a player of his quality go. We've got to try to keep quality players, so we don't just buy one and then lose one.
What is going on?
I don't know. He's injured at the moment. He can't play. So, and then the rest of it is just rumours. So until something official is stated, he's obviously still at the club. So just waiting and see. But as a United fan, and I hope any other United fan would hope, if he wants to stay at the club, then the club should make him feel welcome and stay at the club. If he wants to go, then it is what it is. We just need to sell him, use the money, and get a player who wants to be there. But if he wants to stay, if he wants to be there, we should keep him there. And obviously, the rest of it is just signing more quality midfielders in September. But for what we have now, from what the game Bruno's played so far, he looks good. He looked like he wants to get on the ball. He looked confident. He wasn't scared to take it. He wasn't scared to take a shot. He wasn't scared to take a man on. So I think that will, going forward, I think that will be a good signing. Only time will tell. But hopefully that will develop into something else. In regards to this season and top four finish, obviously with the way Chelsea have been playing, we have a chance of being able to finish in the top four still. But it's going to come a point where if we don't show enough consistency, Chelsea or somebody else might show. Well, Sheffield United have been doing quite well, and to be fair, if Chelsea click and show a bit more consistency, they might be able to wrap up fourth place because other teams around them are dropping points. But it's been one of those seasons where none of the, apart from teams above, so Liverpool, Man City, and Leicester have lost a bit of form, but obviously they had won a lot of games, so they've got a few points. They're a few points clear. But in terms of Chelsea, United, and Spurs and Sheffield United, nobody. Where are Wolves in the league?
They're sixth, isn't it?
No, they're not. But anyway, in terms of those teams, nobody's really been that consistent this season. So nobody's running away with it yet. But there might come a time where in the last few games where a team does just get consistent, and if we're not that team, we're going to lose out on it. Where every time this season we've had a chance to close the gap on Chelsea, we just haven't taken it. So that could come back to haunt us at the end of the season if Chelsea get fourth place by 3 points ahead of us. But it is what it is. Moving forward for the rest of the season, we just got to keep pushing for fourth place. That's the most important thing. If we're going to attract quality players, we need to be playing in the Champions League. So we've got to aim to get that fourth place. So yeah, that's really what the rest of our season should be all about. Aiming for that fourth place. Squad wise, we should. It's still hard to tell whether we have, at this moment in time, we don't have a team capable of challenging the league, that's clear, but whether we have a team capable of challenging for the top four, we do, but there isn't enough consistency. And obviously we've had a patch where obviously Pogba, big main difference, has been out. There's patches where Martial's been out this season. Obviously now we've got Rashford out. Tom been out for a long part of the season now, so it's affected the whole team as well. So it is what it is, but you just got to aim for that fourth place if we want to build for next. In order to build for next season, ideally we need to get fourth place, so that can be a stepping stone to getting better players at the club and obviously moving on for next season. overall, I just think, um, overall, actually, not to mention Fred. Um, Fred actually mentioned a few things this week in the press. Me personally, I don't think he should be talking about certain things during the season like that with the press. For me personally, and I think the club should
What was actually discussed?
Well, no, he was interviewed about what's going on in the club, and he said about the team are not together. There seems to be a lot of vanity in the changing room, and everybody seems to be trying to save the club themselves. That's what's basically been said. Me personally, I don't think any of that stuff mid-season should be discussed with the press. If end of the season, then that's different. Mid-season, if that's what he's feeling, then he should go and talk to Ollie, or he should go and talk to the captain of the team, and they should have it out as a team of players and sort it out. It shouldn't be dirt being put in the press halfway through the season. Why he's done that, I don't know, but me personally, I just don't think he should have done that. It's like if he hasn't spoken or just said that to the manager or to the players, well, no, to the players, he's talking about vanity and players not being together in this and this, but then he's gone and spoken to the press and not bothered to speak to the players and say what he thinks to them. Well, that's just he's doing the same thing. He's not being together with the team if he's not going to speak to them first about the issues and then goes to the press. So me personally, I don't think he shouldn't be doing that in the first place, and I hope Ollie has told him he shouldn't be doing that in the first place. But even if that's the case, talk to the players. Like going to talk to the press isn't going to do anything. If you want to solve the problem, go to the root cause. The team, the players. You're part of that. You need to help solve that. But it is what it is. It's done with now. But yeah. Let's carry on, and hopefully the remainder of the season we can win some more games and try and secure fourth place. All right, cool.
So obviously the last one is obviously Arsenal. Obviously, I predicted of this season obviously was for my team to finish fourth, and I was kind of confident with our team finishing fourth. Actually, on quote and on video, I think in the first session. I actually said I think we're the fourth best team in the league, and I actually reeled off the teams, and I thought that we was fourth best. Obviously, at that point we were still under the stewardship of Emery, and that was second season Emery, where you're thinking first season you go through transition, stabilising the team, the second season, and you then going on from you wanted to progress because obviously last season we got to the final of the Europa League. I think we finished fifth when we got to the finals of the Europa League. We finished fifth, and the only reason why we finished fifth was because we had a poor end to the season, which derailed us from finishing fourth. And obviously, then we lost in the final of the Europa League to get in Champions League spot. So then, for me, I think I was justified in thinking as to why we then should be looking to get fourth, and why I thought that we would be the fourth best team, given that we finished fifth, and also the team that did beat us in the final of the Europa League also were a transfer ban. So I figured that was why. Obviously, we then go into the season. We started off having a few close call results that were going our way, and then after a while, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was management or whatever, but the team just seemed to not be singing off the same hymn sheet, which then ultimately costed Unai Emery's job. And then you've gone from going into the season to try and progress yourself, get yourself into a Champions League spot, to then having to put in a temporary manager for a while, which then derails you, and then you've still got the same ethos of players that have still been playing for under the old stewardship. Then you're then having to then get a new manager, which then kind of puts you then in transition again. And you've got new manager with new ideas. And then as the season's going on, you're then having to learn the new ideas for the new manager. So then you go from being fourth to thinking you're then having to transition. So yeah, so I've gone from thinking to myself that the team would finish fourth to now, I'm not too sure where we're going to finish. If I'm being honest, I'm happy with the. Like I said, I went on record, and I said that I didn't think that Arteta was the man for the job, and I didn't think he'd improve the squad in any kind of way or any kind of fashion. Obviously, I hope that he would, because obviously I'm an Arsenal supporter, and obviously he's an Arsenal manager, so I hope that he would. And to be honest, like he has, the team has played better under his stewardship, and we do seem to have a different ethos. We just don't have the quality of player that I thought we had at the start of the season, which then entailed for us to finish in fourth. Obviously, we then go into Arteta's first transfer window, which he made. It's hard for him, obviously. In January, no one's really making big signings in January, and if you do make a signing, you're making signings like Liverpool made, where you're signing a player who seems as if he's a good player on the cheap that not many other teams know about. You're not going to be signing the big boy players. Not that I'm going to say that the guy that Liverpool signed is not going to be good, because from what I've seen of him, he does look good. But what I'm saying is, we're not going to go out there and sign like a Zaha or something. It's not going to really happen, because no team is going to want to get rid of a big player during the season.
But you can do still, can't you? Don't you think? Like, there's enough. Like, I know what you mean. But at the same time, based on the name that you just said, there's like, even just in the Prem, you know how I say I don't know if I've had this conversation before. Like, say, do you reckon Arsenal can take a player from Leicester, say from next season, as a building project? Because I think they can.
Yeah, we can do.
Exactly.
But that's at the start of the season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I was saying about Arteta's first transfer window, and obviously we don't really have to make a big sign.
That makes sense. Okay.
So obviously going from the signs that he did make, obviously we brought in Cedric Suarez from Southampton. Obviously that was kind of a signing which was put into place due to injuries to our left backs Kolasinac and also Tierney, and obviously then Saka was then playing makeshift left back, who was actually playing well, to be fair. Then he got injured, so that kind of he was kind of signed for that in place. And then we signed Pablo Mari from Brazilian club, I can't remember if it's Fluminense or I think we signed from there. Obviously, I don't know too much about him. I don't know. All I do know about him is that he was in the Man City squad but never played a game. So I don't know. Like I said, there are players in the past that have been in big squads that haven't played. Hopefully, you can make the same impact like a certain man that we make it. Like, I don't know. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that one. Obviously, I was hoping for. Obviously, I always hope for when we have transfers. I hope for defender. I hope for centre backs, because our centre backs are dead. But obviously, I hope for someone. But I don't know what we're gonna get from him, and it's hard for me to judge him. He's coming in halfway through the season. He's obviously coming from the Brazilian league, and I'm not too sure on their league system. But I know it doesn't run like the English league does. So I don't know what his fitness levels are going to be at. So we'll just wait and see. Obviously, the Southampton loan signing. Obviously, he's been in the English league, so he knows about this. He knows about this league. Also, he's an international in Portuguese. Well, he was in the Portuguese squad. I'm not too sure on if he's in it now, but he was in the Portuguese squad, so he's an established player. So, leading on from that, what my hope for the remainder of the season? Obviously, I'm hoping that I don't think we're gonna get fourth. I've said it in previous fan cams that I don't think we're gonna get fourth. I'm just hoping for stability, and obviously, I'm just hoping that we can just finish the season well, and then we can then build on from this to the next season, and then hopefully Arteta can then get the players that he wants in the transfer market at the beginning of the season, and we can go from there. Other than that, that's fine.